What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Uniques. So today I have an interesting mall that I found, and it's going to be Readiness for War. It gives you +2 to all skills, which right off the bat you gotta love that. Always gotta love +2 to all skills. What I like more, of course, but I mean, not really gonna find too much more. At least not for an exceptional weapon like this one. It gives you 30% faster run walk, which is great. You always want your barbarian moving a little bit faster. I suppose you could use this on a paladin, although I don't know why you would want to, because you probably want a shield if you're playing as a paladin. Because this weapon would really be more geared towards somebody who would probably be using whirlwind a lot, and we all know that the paladin is not using whirlwind. So you also get 30% increased attack speed. So that's going to help you hit things faster, which means they die more, which you always gotta love. 269% enhanced damage is what this got. That can roll up to 300%. It says 0% chance of crushing blow right here, but that's only because I actually made a new character just to show you guys something, because there has been a change with Diablo 2 Reimagined as opposed to original Diablo 2 Resurrected. That being the next affix, which is +10 to melee mastery. Now, if you are a barb main, you might be wondering, what is melee mastery? Well, let's go to the skill tree here. Sorry about that. And if we go over the combat masteries, we can see that this tree is a lot smaller than it used to be. In original Diablo 2, you could have mace mastery, you could have sword mastery, you can have axe mastery. But in this version of the game, all three of those are rolled into one, which is now known as melee mastery. Also, these have been up a little bit. I believe level 1 of sword mastery in the past was 3% chance of critical strike. Right now it is 5% chance. Also, the damage is 28, which is the same attack rating as 40. I believe that is the same as well. But the thing is now melee mastery, it pertains to all of the mastery. So you no longer have to put points into axe mastery or mace mastery or sword mastery. You just have melee mastery now, which is actually something that I think is a great change. But that being said, I'm sure you can see why +10 to melee mastery would be very beneficial to your character, and why you could really use that stat on an item, especially considering that this one normally drops as an exceptional piece. Now, you can upgrade this up to elite if you want to, and if you want to, just go watch my video on cube recipes and I will show you how. After that, we get 3% to experience gained. This can roll up to 10%. Also, we get the 50% damage to undead affix, which seems like it has to be on almost every single unique item in the game. I don't really care about that. I don't think many people really care about that. It's not really a big deal. 50% damage to undead, sure, you know, I mean, yeah, it helps you a lot, but it really isn't going to do all that much. Let's jump back up to crushing blow for a second. I have explained this before, so if you've already heard this, I apologize. You can go ahead and click off the video, which is why I'm doing this at the end of it. So crushing blow, just as a quick recap, you're going to do a percentage. This one is based on character level, so it will go up, you know, the higher I get up in levels. And it is possible to actually get 100% crushing blow, because crushing blow actually stacks on items. So the higher it is, right, the more damage you would do to an enemy, but it's not based on their overall HP. It's actually based on their current HP, which is something to try to understand, because I have seen people confused about that before, where they think that crushing blow isn't like proccing properly because they're not hitting enemies any harder than they used to. And that's usually just because it might have procced on the second hit or something like that, and you've already done, like, say 1,000 damage to a monster that has, like, I don't know, 5,000 damage. So it doesn't really look necessarily like you're doing more damage, but you are. But it just happens to be that you're only going to do that small percentage within their current health pot. If a monster had, let's say, 2 health, and you did 50% crushing blow hit, that's 1 health. Obviously, that doesn't factor in, you know, just the item damage that you're going to be doing. But that's basically how that works. So I want to throw that out there. Yeah, so I mean, all in all, it's a great item. Like I said, I'd probably want to upgrade it to elite. My only issue with this is that it's a two-handed weapon. And personally, I don't like using two-handed weapons because I like to have a shield and a sword so I can get the extra stats on that. Or I would like to be able to dual wield something so that, again, I can get the extra stats on that. If this was like +4 to all skills, I think it would be way better. Kind of like with the sorceress, how she has a lot of rune words that can actually give you 4 or 5. I think one is even 6 all skills. I'd have to double check that. The reason being is because when, like, I mean, you could give your barbarian 2 spirits, right? And then you'd have +4 to all skills, as opposed to having just +2 to all skills. So you're effectively cutting down all of your plus skills in half, which is why I don't really like two-handed weapons, especially when it's like a mandatory two-handed weapon like this one, because mauls are, some items you can do either one-hand or two-hand. We all know this, especially if you've been playing Diablo 2 for a long time. So personally, I would much rather have 2 different items to use, especially because this one, you have to be level 48 to even equip it. And 48 is pretty high. That's mid-game for sure, right? That's totally, yeah, that's definitely mid-game for sure. So I don't know if I would really want to do it that way. I think I'd rather just have 2 different items. But all in all, it's still a pretty good item. Just not the best, I don't think. So. Anyways, thank you all for being here, and late.